Trouble usually have a great deal of pent-up energy and they don't know what to do with it. Well, Mike Tyson was one of those kids. It was the great boxing trainer Gus D'Amato who finally turned Mike's life around, took him under his wing and rechanneled Mike's energies into boxing. D'Amato feels that Tyson will be the next Muhammad Ali, and he should know. Ali was also one of his students. Psychologist?
In life, you can absorb almost anything if you are able to anticipate it and prepare psychologically to accept it.
Scientist?
I never allowed myself to be influenced by people unless they influenced me with facts.
Disciplinarian?
Discipline. Discipline enables a person to do that which needs to be done, which is also my definition of a professional, no matter how he feels within.
And fight trainer.
The physical part of boxing is so minor that most people would never believe it or accept it, because in my opinion, the mind and emotions are about 75% of boxing.
Hello there, YouTube. Charlie Brawley back at you with a new video. Holy smokes. This has been one an amazing week. Last 30 days has been freaking phenomenal because I think we are breaking history books or records. I think we are. I don't know if these records exist or if they are even published or anything like that. The only record I know of Roulette in terms of streaks is the 32 win on Red. I think it happened in 1943. The Red went 32 straight times. That's the longest streak in the game of Roulette. And what they've always said is that the game of Roulette was unbeatable. They said that you could not only could you not beat it, which is stupid, by the way, because Roulette is only one spin. I don't know why people think you have to have like all these spins just to win. Like if you Google right now, highest winning roulette, I don't know, highest winning roulette, highest winning or highest payouts, you're gonna find that there's quite a few people. Let me see if I can just pull this up real quick. Let me see here. Highest winning. Yeah, I was looking at that. There we go. Either that or they're reading my mind. All right, so highest, the biggest wins in roulette. So right here, these people won all this money, but let me tell you, they did not win it because they were playing for hours and hours and hours. It was only one spin. And what I think people really don't understand is that roulette, you only need one spin. So it's like in order to beat the game, you only need to beat it. One game, one spin is a game. So you either win it or you lose it, and then the game's over. Okay, so that's what I mean by when people say you can't beat the game. It's no, you beat the game in one spin. This guy right here made $200,000 on one spin. I mean, I believe he feels like he beat it. This guy made $3.5 million on one spin. I'm sure he felt like he beat it. I don't think he's going home saying, you know, I really think I need to play like, 100 more spins because I don't think I beat it. I need to play it out. No one thinks that way because they understand the game. One spin is the game, right? So let's talk about this record that I believe that we beat. All right, so first of all, as you guys know, I had been developing a flat bet software, and it's based upon an algorithm within an algorithm within an algorithm. And when I first published the software, which is a few months ago, when we first started, of course, I had people who joined, and a nice portion of those people had issues taking money, literally. And I'm being very serious. They had issues taking the money. So to the point where I used to like shut the computer off to keep them away from themselves. And then I got really, really frustrated. And I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm only going to give you guys like 10 spins on the software, because if you can't manage 10 spins or the abilities to manage within a small sector of spins, I've already seen you can't manage more than that. So I'm only going to limit it to 10. And when I did that, it actually hurt. It hurt us a little bit because even those who were having issues taking money earlier, now their issue was they're accumulating a lot of losses because they don't have the flexibility that they once had in the software due to me shutting it down the way I did over just a few people. That was wrong with me. And one of the people who got hurt and all that was this guy here, Jan. Jan is a guy who I did an interview with a few weeks ago, I think. And right now he has, using the software, the flat bet software, he has a streak of 220 total flat bet games won. Say it again, and I'm going to show you the proof. He has 220 total flat bet games won. Now, what is a game? How do you win a game? It's just like, let me pull up. I was looking at the standings actually. I don't know if you guys are into football, but I know that I am. Let's see. Here's the NFC, AFC standings. Here's the Steelers. So, for example, this is how roulette works, and a lot of people don't understand this. Roulette works like this. It's just like any game, like except you don't have an inning, you don't have quarters. You are actually the referee and the player. So, like, say for example, in the Bills. The Bills, they're 7-2, right? And in order for them to be at, obviously the top of the leaderboard, they have to win more units than they lose. In fact, they got to win more units than everybody in this division. However, in order for them to have 7 wins, they have to play out all 4 quarters, right? And within, at the end of that 4 quarters, if they are up units, if they're up points, then they are the winner. Same, I don't know if you guys, whoever's watching football, if you watch the Jets game, I'm sure not everybody listening to this is familiar, but the Jets played last week and they played a team called New England Patriots. And in that game, they were up most of the game. And then the 4th quarter, New England came back, and now they are 0-9. They've 0 games won, 9 games lost. However, within the game, they were up. But the only problem is in football, baseball, and most other sports, you can't quit until the end. In roulette, in this game, let's say if you were up in the 2nd quarter and you said, hey, referee, I'm done playing. You can literally call the game at that point. But here becomes the problem. You don't call the game. You continue to play out the quarters when you've already won. So this is how we were able to beat roulette using the software. Again, prior to maybe 30 days ago, we had the software really coupled where it was almost difficult to really squeak out wins. So you had to be really diligent. And I made that choice because of my frustration with me having to always say over and over and over again, take the money, take the money, take the money, take the money, take the money. And then watching people get 400-500% and then leave at minus 300, that kind of thing. That was frustrating for me. So I reopened the software 30 days ago, and it's a flat bet software. It's not a progression software. So like a progression software is kind of equal to this. Like if you lose one game on a flat bet basis, if you lose one game or one spin, that's equal to one game, right? But even if the game doesn't end until you walk away. So if you are up 3 units, you have won 3 games. Why? Because one spin is a game. But the game itself is not over until you walk away. So let's say if you won 3 units, you keep playing, and then you go down 4 units. The only time you have lost 4 games or 4 units is if you actually leave and you walk away at -4. Then at that point, you would have, it's just like the fourth quarter for the Jets, like the game is over. But if you stay and you make those units back and you increase to 100%, then you've won that game. So now you have 4 units or 4 games. So what the software has allowed us to do, and I'm going to show you, let me actually pull it here. What the software has allowed us to do is be able to not only shave down time, but be able to get consistently flatbed. And flatbed was often said this is the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to do, to be able to flat bet the game of roulette and consistently win. Or any. If you're in Forex, please listen to this. Please listen to this. Please, please, please listen to me and the rest of this thing here. But it was saying that you could not do it. They said that you couldn't do it, but I have living proof. Not only are we doing it, but we're continuing to do it. Let me show you my the top guy here. Well, let me show you his balance first. Right now, he has a $6,000 balance, and he did that in the last 30 days. Before, this was the end balance of today. You can see he says, so today I finished my 30-month cycle with +8 units, 220 in total, 220 wins, 220 flat bet wins without ever losing a single game. Let me show you what he sends me all the time. So right here is October 14th. This guy is so freaking detailed. It's amazing. I love it. He sends me October 14th. And by the way, Jan was one of the guys who was going to quit too. I think I said that earlier, but he was one of the guys who's going to quit too. But he stuck in there, and I reopened the software. As I told everybody who stuck around, I was going to reopen it, but you weren't going to get a whole lot of chances to have units and then walk away a loser. If you walk away a loser after you've won, just continue to walk. Don't come back, because the software now, since we reopened it, 100% gives everybody units. 100%. 100% is, since we've opened it back up, not a single person who has tried it, not a single person who has used it has lost money on it. If they did, it's only because they fell outside of the guidelines or did what they wanted to do. But it was not. And the thing about the software is that it actually shows you, like, you can't even lie. It shows you where you are and where you should be. So you can't even dodge it. But here is what Jan sends me. You can look here, his duration, the win count, and right here is the bet size: $7.50, $9, $10, $15, and then he moves 20, and then 25, and right here on the 13th he was at $6,000. You can look at the duration. The average amount of time he's spending is about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour on average. So he's kind of in that ballpark in terms of the amount of time he spends. But the most time he spent in a game was 2.5 hours. So he spent almost 3 hours one time in a game to ensure that he won. And he never ever, the longest he ever played was 2.5 hours, but he never lost a flat bet game since he started over with the software, period. So now let's look at this. So right now he's at $25 units, right? This is what he sends me now. So he sent me, so the start of his day was at 58.03, and then when he ended at 6,000. So let me pull up my calculator and show you guys this. So if we just kind of rounded it off, say 6,000 minus 5,800 gives us $200, and he had what do you say, 8 units? So it literally put him right exactly where he is, $25, 8 units. And yesterday he made 6 units. Let me show you that email. Yesterday, you can see this is November 12th, 6 units. What did he write here? 6 units, November 12th. This guy is insanely detailed. I love it. But he's just, thank you, brother. You're just proving my point. All right, so only 6 units. Well, only 6 units. He only made 6 units today, but look at his starting balance. This is what he sends me. He started at 5,663. He ended at 5,803. So if you were to, let's put out our calculator again. Let's calculate that. See what that looks like. Sorry to be so long too. Hopefully this is, I just want to show you guys that I think we have created a monster. 5803. And what was this? 5663 minus 5663 divided by 6. 23. Am I doing it right? 5803, 2333, and he's basically, I don't know, maybe he was covering a 0. I don't know. So he's kind of still on par with the $25 units. But this was, let's see, let's go to the day before that. And let's look at, so that day he had 9 units, November the 11th. And his starting balance was 54.46 and 56.63. And then he might still be around the same. I'm just going to do one more calculation. Let's see if he's in the 20s. 54.46. 54.46. 54.46. Uh-oh. And how many units did he say he had? 9. And yeah, so he's right about 24. So he's roughly right about the $24-25 mark right now. And then as he increases, I think next week, maybe tomorrow. Let me see, where is he? 25. Probably tomorrow he's going to be increasing to 30. So he's going to be upping it up, and I will be showing you guys the progression. But let me show you what our communication has been like so that you can see this man has been on it. You see the bankroll, you just saw that stuff, but let me show you kind of our correspondence here. So this is what how we communicate, by the way, is mostly through WhatsApp, and a lot of people are starting to use WhatsApp too. What's going on? Yeah, WhatsApp. So this is October 30th, and when we started using it, we should have been using this, but we started using it then, and it was, you know, a good way to start record keeping, I guess. Are you in today? Yep, I stand ready. Okay, let me get the code. So I'm kind of going to breeze through this. You can see he got 8 units October 30th. November 1st, 7 units. A lot of small talk in between there. Not going to bore you with all of that. November 2nd. And 7 units. November 3rd, I'm getting ready. 9 units. And this is how he's up at $6,000. He's November 4th, 7 units. And where else? What else? And he continues to go. 6 units, and at this point he's up at this is insane, 160 units at that point. At that point I was thinking, man, I think we're breaking some kind of record. But right now he's at, you can see 9 units there. That's last Saturday. 7 units, and you can see 7 units again, and 6 units there. It just keeps going, right? So this is my whole point, is that in order for you to achieve this kind of result, number one, it's a software, okay? And I'm here to report that the software is a beast. It's a beast. It's an absolute beast, and I think it's such a beast that we may have, I'm sure, the longest recorded streak in the game was 32 of some sort. Well, at least the color red. I don't know if that's the longest streak of any. I don't know what the longest streak is, but according to the internet, the longest streak in Roulette was held with red going 32 times consecutively, right? Well, in this case, we've won 220 total flat bets consecutively. Now, I don't know if that's a world record, but if anyone knows of anyone who has achieved 220 total flat bet units consecutively, please let me know who that is, because if no one has that record, you are now listening to the person who has defeated the game of roulette to the tune of 200. Well, we're still going 200, and I will continue to update you guys as to where, like, at this point, we're at a point of no return right now. Like, there's just no way. We're at a point of no return. This is all a flat bet. So he's at 220 total, and he can only go up at this point. He can only go up at this point. Only thing he has to do is manage at this point, and he can make whatever money he wants. That's how far in he is. All right. But whoever has the record of consecutive flat bets, please show me the proof. I've shown you guys, like I was just showing you guys our communication. He's on point, man. Like, I love it. You can see how he's not trying to go for $100. I mean, he started that way. He started betting $100 minimums, but he lost it. And part of that was because he was caught in a fray with me shrinking down the flexibility of the software. He was caught in that, but thankful to God, he stuck it through, and he saw the potential, because he was here when we originally started it, and he was making units then. He was kicking it. He was balling then, but I shrunk it down. He was in the fray. He came back, and this is what's happening. So here is what I'm willing to say to you guys. Number one, if there's anyone who has record of the most longest streak of a flat bet in the game of roulette of a consistent win, please let me know what it is and who it is. And if they could do it in a software. We are able to do this via a software. Period. So here is my offer to you. If you're interested, number one, I'm going to give you free training. Number two, I'm going to give you 3-4 hours, whatever time you need, to ensure, or at least see, that the game can always produce units for you. Everyone who has tried the software, not a single person was not able to walk away a winner. Not one. Okay. Number three, here is my guarantee. If you are losing more money than you're making playing this game, I will refund you the cost to join. The cost to join is $500. The reason that price is what it is because I actually have to go buy equipment. My payment comes in through the 30% payment. Okay, so here's what I wanted to say to Forex traders and all the stockbrokers out here in the world. Do y'all have these kind of results? I'll sit here and wait. We have a product that you can see here, guys. I mean, to a degree, you can increase the pricing, but I don't know if you know how to lower the risk in Forex to the point where you can flat bet and increase the value and do it 220 times straight. If you are in Forex, if you have results better than this, let me know. I'll go do Forex. If you don't have results like this in your Forex and you can't show this and you can't prove it, like I can mathematically prove, I mean, it's here, you can see it here, but I understand the math behind it. That's the reason I was able to create the spreadsheet software. I understand the math behind it. But if you're in Forex and you want a more solid way to do this, I'm giving you a guarantee, not only a free trial, but a no risk return, that if you are losing more units than you're making doing this on the software with my training, I'm not talking about you making mistakes, you're doing your own thing and all that other stuff. I'm talking about doing it the right way, because the software will literally tell you where you are. And if it says that you should be here, but you're in another place, it's easy to detect if you went off or AWOL or off the plan. It's really easy to see that. Okay. So if you're in Forex and you want a more, and I know it sounds crazy because you think, oh, this is gambling. 90% of people are failing in Forex. That doesn't sound like gambling to you. That's called high stakes gambling. You have a 90% chance of failure by the numbers. Like, even if you did define the risk variables, it's still that difficult to do that because it's undefinable. That's one of the reasons why people have so low expectations in Forex, because the risk variables are way over the top and cannot be calculated. I've only said this about roulette 100,000 times. It's limited. It is limited, and I'm proving to you, and I'm going to continue to prove it to you. So with that said, guys, I am still looking for on takers. You're going to get free training. But be serious, guys. Don't come here and not be consistent. If you're only looking to do this every now and then, honestly, I'd really prefer people who are going to be very consistent, because I don't need a lot of folk. But be serious, because I'm going to give you the free training. I'm going to give you the free the trial. You can use it for hours, test it out for hours, prove it. And then when you actually do it for real money, I have a guarantee that if you lose more money than you make within, say, a 2-week time frame, week or two after you've gotten acclimated, if you're losing, which will never happen, but if that happens, according to my strategy, the software and instructions, if that happens to you, I give you your money back. No problems, zero problems whatsoever. We need to sign a contract, whatever we need to do. But listen, guys, I am so very, very excited. Like even a few new people who have been doing this. One guy earlier today, he was like, he wanted to know what is the maximum that I have for to look to. And I said, well, listen, come here and try it. You got all the time you want. If you want to know what the limitations are, you're going to always be able to get a unit here. But I want you to see it. Come here and test it. Because I know this, if you're in Forex, if you're in any type of trading or even in business, period, number one, you don't have a product that you can place the pricing on it. You can increase the price as much as you want. Number one, I know you don't have that. Number two, the only thing that separates you from whatever you want playing this game with that software is time. The most, I think he's went, 3 hours? Most he's ever been was 3 hours. 3 hours. 3 hours and he averages an hour. Okay. So I don't know what you're doing in other fields. I don't know what guarantees that they can give you and still be able to back them up with science and math. I'm willing to give you hours to test this. Not a couple sessions, no, hours on a flat bet on top of all things, because this is unheard of. You don't supposed to win on a flat bet. I'm willing to give you whatever time you need. All right, but you need to hurry up. And the reason I'm saying hurry up is because for those who may not know, a few people know, but I have a parent who's ailing and they're not doing well. Cancer is a real deal thing, and it's claimed the life of quite a few of us, and it's taken hold on one of my family members, my father actually, and so it's really tough, and they're getting older, so I'm gonna be going and spending time to take care of them, so I will not be on YouTube. However, what I will have are my laptops while I am away. And if you are involved in the program, you can register for the sessions and you spend your hours, you get your sessions, get your units, just like Jan did, and you leave. There's a video of an interview with Jan. Go take a listen at that. He's going to be back again, too, talking about some of his best practices, which is really the same thing you're going to be taught in your trading. The only thing you have to do is just stick to it. That's it. But the guy earlier who wanted to test it out, he tested it out. He ended up with 8 units by the end of the day. And he did he was on it for maybe 4 or 5 hours. He ended up with 8 units, and but that's 800% on a compound product. So again, if you're in Forex, this is right up your alley. This is right up your alley. It's zero risk. I'm telling you here now. You get to test it out, try it out, and if when you do join, if you are winning, if you're consistently losing more than you're winning through the software and through the training, doing it the right way, you will get your money back. That's the kind of the same offer that I made in my mentorship program. And the reason why I know you can't refute it is because of the limitations of the game. At the end of the day, it's going to be an issue of, do you have time? And if you don't have time, then, oh well, there's nothing we can do about that. But what I do in mentorship is teach you how to reduce time. The software is just an automated version of it. And it's something, honestly, I couldn't even do what the software does. Like in my head, there's just no way. It's a program. So that's the only reason it does what it does. But listen, guys, I don't want to belabor the point here long. I think we have literally scored a absolute winner. I think this is the equalizer. I think this is what everybody's been waiting on, is this sort of product. And so I'm here now telling you, test it if you're serious about making money. And hold my feet to the fire. Hold it to the fire. You say, hey, Charlie, you said this is going to be guaranteed, and you're going to guarantee all these things. I want to test it. Absolutely. I've been on the internet now for 4 years. Not going anywhere. Well, I'll be leaving for a moment, but listen, I'm not here to make a fool of myself. And the only reason I'm showing you this, guys, is because it's the truth. All right, guys. Well, listen, man, take care of yourself. Again, if you know anybody who has anything close to this, anything close to it, or better than this in term Forex, I don't care what it is. Let me know what that is. Who's producing these kind of results? Who's on a flat bet basis? Okay, we're talking flat bet, not talking progressions. You know, progressions are good if you know how to manage well, right? But imagine if you were the Bills and the first quarter you were down, the second quarter, instead of 11 players, you brought out 22 players. And then the third quarter, you brought out, you didn't win the second quarter, so the third quarter, you brought out 44 players, right? That's called a progression. But the reason why they don't do that is because it's all a flat. So it's like the same amount of people, it's all a flat bet. There's no progression, equal loss for equal win. That's what's been said. That could not happen. And my friends, this is the God honest truth. The question I have for you is, at this point, do you think all of a sudden, as I always ask everyone, do you think this is all of a sudden going to change? Absolutely no, because it's not only him, but everybody who uses it at this point. All right. So very limited time, folks. Take advantage. First come, first serve. It is 100% zero risk. You heard it from me. You're hearing it again. Zero risk. Test it. Try it. And if you find yourself losing more than you are winning by the software and by the instructions that I give, if that consistently happens, guess what I'm going to do? Now, when I say consistently happen, meaning you can't be playing the game for just a small amount of time, and then when you're down, you walk away. Okay, so if you don't have time to be in this business, just don't be in it. Just don't do it. But there may be times you may have to commit to up to 3 hours. If you're not committed to that, if you're not committed to being able to do that, then that's just like saying, I want to work, I want to go on a job, and I want $100,000 a year salary, but I'm only going to be committed to about 15 hours a week. But I do want the salary, though. That's absolutely foolish. Okay, so and I know it sounds, I don't mean to sound condescending, but you will be amazed at the kind of people who think that way. You know, one thing I've learned doing this, people, man, I have learned a whole lot. You'd be amazed at the way people think about a lot of things. But listen, guys, I don't want to belabor the point. Thank you guys so much for your patience, mostly for those who stuck in here with me through the ups and through the downs. I know I've been joking a little bit, but I'm very, very serious. I do believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that we have defeated the beast. Bottom line. I'm willing to put it all on the line here now, guys. Come test it. It's risk free. And the reason I can even say that is because I've only been looking at this now for the last every day for 8, 9, 10 hours a day for like the last 3 months. Every day. And the consistency that I've demonstrated here with Jan over the last 30 days when we reopened the software, it literally was when he started back. When we reopened that, ever since then, it has always never failed to provide us units. Never failed. Never failed. And if you believe I'm kidding you, email me, permutationspro@gmail.com, and I will send you the training. Once you get the training, register. We'll set up a time for you to come in here and use it. Don't waste time now. If you're not serious about doing this, just don't waste your time. It's just that simple. So if you're going to do the training and you're not really serious about jumping on board, I can show you videos. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to come here and waste the time. There's videos I actually have proof of where you can actually look at the videos of people doing it. You don't have to waste the time. But if you are serious in doing it, when you come here, you're going to win. You're going to win. Even when you test it, you're going to win. So if you do decide to do that and you come aboard, again, it's a no risk opportunity. In meaning that if you play this and you're not winning more than you're losing consistently, according to the rules, again, you can't. By the way, guys, as I mentioned before, the Bills, but they're like the Jets. There were times you're going to be up. The game of roulette stops when we leave. Okay, when we leave is when the game's over. So if we are down and you leave when you're down, right? That means that you lost those units. So you have to be committed to maybe the maximum time frame. And when you do your testing, test that part of it. Allow yourself 2 or 3 hours. See the results for yourself. Allow yourself some time. Most times, like I said, if you look here what Jan did, for the most part, is about 45 minutes. But you've got to be willing to go the extra mile sometimes. And then there's ways where you can even bail out. You don't necessarily have to go for consistency records. You don't have to do that. You can bail out of some certain games and then come back tomorrow. You're going to always find yourself up. Always find yourself up. All right, guys, listen, I don't want to belabor the point. Thank you so much for listening. Permutationspro@gmail.com. Send me that email and let's try and kill the game together. Thank you guys so much. Until the next time, take care.